Alright, welcome sheeple. This is a tier list for the flying unit. Disclaimer first, this is my personal opinion. You don't have to like it, you don't have to agree with it. If you have your own opinion, make your own video. Second, this is not final. Whatever the SMR Joy, the developer want to change the unit skills, buff unit, debuff unit, add unit, might change the tier list. So this is not final. Thirdly, do your own research. I'll add a description. I'll add a link of the where you can get the information about the unit. Read it yourself, and judge based on your own criteria of the thing. Alright, so last time we looked at the light unit, that was like 68 units. This time is a lot smaller. I believe it's like 38 or something like that. I don't remember. Anyway, and I'll try to put how many unit you're supposed to get, and I also try to put the timestamp in the when it goes to YouTube. Alright, let's start with the SS flying attacker. So first in the line is A.Lise. She is around A tier, so she has been on the game for a while. She wasn't there in the beginning, but she has been in a while, and she does the two things well. She have AoE, and she ignores the shield and the damage reduction. Not many unit that can do that both with the AoE. So only thing she lacks is armor penetration, but you can give it to it with the other units. So in my opinion, she's A tier, and you only need 6 over. Next is the more recent unit, which is Titania. She is very close to OP, but I will say still A tier. Reason being is that if she needs to do more damage, she needs another unit. She can't do it. She can't go by herself. Very, I guess, strong team, but she does the AoE. She does defense. She's elemental damage, so she does completely defense ignore. She does a lot of the buffs to herself to give more damage. Slightly buffing the allies, but doesn't do much. So in terms of how useful she is, she does lots of damage. That's why she's on the A tier pretty much, and AoE. She is not there on the OP tier because she doesn't buff any other unit that well. How many you should get? You should get at least 7. 1 for full link, 1 for no link, and if you need to do a farming, you might want to get 1 more, just in case. Alright, next in the line, May. She is borderline now between A and B, but I have to give her A. What she does the AoE, and she only does AoE in terms of the damage. She buffs specific units around her. Yeah, she does good buff. Only thing that make her a little bit really pulling her back is because if she dies, your units surrounding it is going to die. She's basically very dangerous unit to be in the team. At the same time, her HP has to be lower for her passive to active. So it really makes it difficult to there is a potential hazard that you have to go through to use her. Otherwise, she buffs allies, she does AoE, she is fantastic for giving an AP pump for the flying unit. So she is A tier. You should get 7 over her. So 1 for full link, 1 for no link. Alright, next is Harpy. Man, there's a lot of A tiers for this one, but she is also A tier in the fact that she does a roll column attack pretty good. She doesn't buff units side by side, but she have enough buff to use herself to do enough damage to enemy that you can quickly get rid of the row of columns. in terms of an enemy. And she is also useful for farming because her AP is pretty good. So she is A tier, and she could go to B tier because of the Titania is better than Harpy now, but you know, she is still good. If you need to delete a roll faster than the Titania, yeah, Harpy is definitely good. She's there, and you should get at least 7, 1 for full link, 1 for no link. Alright, moving on to the next one. Draculina. Recently added. I have to give her B tier. Her AoE doesn't fully covers, and it degrades damage over the distance away from her. And her range is very short. It's 1. And she buffs herself, and that's about it, and doesn't buff ally that much. Hard to really use it. She have her own unique item as well, but she is really hard to use. Like, she only specific works for a specific setup of enemies that you can easily kill it. You know, if they have more HP, she gets really hard time killing it, and doesn't buff ally that much, so she is B tier. She escapes from trash because she is absolutely useful as like any other flying attackers in here, but just doesn't do well compared to the other ones. Oh my god. Next one is Tiamat, the last SS. She is... I am so like, you know, between A and B tier, but I have to give her B tier. She is absolutely excellent for killing single target unit. Like, there is only couple of unit who can do what she can possibly accomplish. The problem is there aren't many single target unit in the game. Yeah, sure, she can kill one unit very quickly, but that's it. And you have to kind of buffer a lot to kill it one shot. So what's the point? Unless, you know, the whole thing is like specifically one unit, and then you have to kill it one shot. Maybe she is can go A tier. I know someone will disagree, but I personally think she is a B tier in terms of our damage output for how cost effective. Oh, sorry, for Draculina, you want to get 6 full link. Tiamat, you need to get 7. 6 for full link, 1 for no link, just because she can be actually used for evasion farming or solo farming, actually, for counter attack. And that doesn't even apply for the JP though. Alright, moving back to S rank. In her S rank. Phoenix, trash. On paper, she does a good damage. On paper, she gives excellent buff. The problem is the way she needs to be trigger her passive. You need to make sure that she attack first, and then there's 3 allies in front of her attacking the allies. There is absolutely no point doing that. Like, it's really hard to trigger passive. She does good damage, but just really hard to trigger it. Why would I use her? I can just use a Harpy. You know, why would I use her if I can just use Tiamat or someone else? So she's just a trash rank. You need a 6 for full link. That's it. RedHood. I have to give her B rank at least. I really was contemplating giving a trash rank, but she's one of the flying unit that can remove buffs from the enemy. So her second active removes the buffs. Actually, does she? Oh, it doesn't. Never mind. I thought he did. Oh, never mind. I thought she actually removed the debuffs. My bad. I was wrong. She's a trash. I thought she actually removed the buffs from the second active. No, does not. She's absolutely trash. Doesn't do like her only grace is the second active fire damage because there aren't many good units that does fire damage in here. But why would you use her? Just use Harpy. Just use A.Lise. Just use May. She's completely useless. There's other unit that can do it. You need a 6 for full link. NightAngel. I have to give her B rank. It's because she does the roll attack, and she is well used with the May. But by herself or with some other team, she just doesn't have any effectiveness on by her. She got a recently buff, which is scale based on her evasion. But you get an evasion debuff, she actually her damage get reduced. So I don't know if that's a bug, but you know that happens. And there are other units that can do better, or you know just better in terms of that way. So she is B trash. She's still decent with using May, but just there are better other options. 6 for full link. Next one, MoMo. I have to say A rank. She does remove debuff using a first active. If you do critical hit, buffs the allies, and then there is a suicide run that you can use to, you know, give more buffs to allies, and that is very specific, but it still does tremendous buffs. So she is useful in that way. She gives both buffs to allies and then does buff removal, and it's still AoE. So definitely useful. Probably she's the exception that you need 7, 6 for fooling and 1 for giving the buffs actually. Alright, next going to Kunoichi Zero. Just like a Kain, she is absolutely A rank. So she does the roll attack, decent damage, ignores defense because she's electric damage. Just like a Kain, she can be used to erase a roll. So therefore she is good, just good in all the way. You know, she hasn't received SS rank, but for S rank, as cheap as she is, she's pretty useful. And there are many units that does elemental damage in the flying unit, so she's one of them and pretty useful in that way. So 6 for full link. Next one is Dryad. I have to say she is A rank. She does the column attack. She also does decent damage as the Harpy does, and she buffs the unit surrounding it. Pretty good buffs. And she synergies with the Lise and Aqua. The problem is Lise and Aquas are not that great-ish. So maybe in the future, if they add more buff in the list on the Daphne, certainly like if Dryad was, you know, get buffed by, for instance, you know, Lise and Daphne, not Aqua. You know, maybe she includes Aqua or, you know, Rhea. It might be even better, but for now, she does not buff that. So, 6 for full link. And Wraithy is unfortunately B rank. So by herself, she doesn't do much. She only buffs the Doombringer-ish. Sorry, she buffs more on the Doombringers. but to use her effectively, you need a Mei. For that reason, she is only a B rare. So she's like, you know, dummy that you put it on the Mei if you need more damage. And it just by herself is not that worth and not strong enough. So you can probably get away with 1, but just go for 6 for fooling because she's the attacker. Alright. Last on the SA attacker, the StratoAngel, not the NightAngel. The sister of the NightAngel is A rank. And the reason being is that even though she is S rank compared to SS rank for the NightAngel, is that she can do double call row attack. And there are 0 unit can do that. And she's the only one. And she get buffed by the Mei, and that is decent. So I would say she's a S rank, A rank, and she is more useful than the NightAngel by itself. Certainly you can use the NightAngel, double Angel and the Mei team. That's doable. But the Mei already does a row attack, so why would you use NightAngel? Kind of redundant, right? So StratoAngel is A rank and 6 for full link. Alright, moving back to the A rank units. First on the A.Lise, same problem with single unit target, single buff unit. So she buffs only herself, and she targets only 1 unit. She is like a Tiamat, just a bit worse. So why would she be any better? Go higher tier. If you have a single target, yeah, but there isn't any. She have her own unique item, even though it makes it a little bit easier to do a single target damage. It's kind of iffy. So I would say B rank and 6 for full link. Alright. Now next one is Sylphid. And this is B rank. The problem is Sylphid is that Sylphid is like a Soan in the flying unit. But there's a big if, is the one that you have to have a Mei in the team. So that already increased the cost of using her. And then you have to fill it with a bunch of the other flying units with the Mei. And you know, because you're using Mei, since you want to be most effective in terms of damage output, then you have to use Mei's team, which is Doombringers. So, you know, Stratos, Angel, NightAngel, you know, Wraithy, and, you know, some other tank. And that really, all of them do the AoE, so you don't really need to have another unit that does the follow-up attack. It's nice, but it's just not necessary anymore. So she's only a B rank. Decent if you can use it. Alright, Banshee is a B rank. And it's only because she doesn't have any rank up right now. If she gets a rank up, she is definitely going up. Because I think she can probably do more damage. Like, her A1 here, her A, like the first attack is already a roll attack, and you know she does a lot of damage. She got a lot of buff. You need to use a Sylphid. That's a bit of a problem. So she's only a B rank. Sylphid for 6, and the Banshee for 6 as well. Next one is Griffon. B rank. There is absolutely no reason to use her. She does a follow-up attack. She does decent damage. She kind of can be used with the all the 21 squad, but it's kind of iffy damage. She's not bad. She does decent damage. It's just that there are just better other options ahead of her. So 6 for full link. Next one is Lint, is A rank. She is very useful for newbies. It's one of the go-to. And then once you upgrade it, she has self mark, which is only lasts for 3 turn, I believe. 2 or 3 turn at level 10. I have to check. Yeah, 3 round for at level 10, and which is all you need for 3 round is all you need to kill the enemy and get, you know, targeted, and then you build her as evasion, so there's no point, like, you can still use it after you done using in the very beginning of the game. So she's definitely A rank. Hussar is the next one, and I have to say she's not trash-ish, but she's kind of get kicked around because why would you use her when you have Lint? You know, she gets the and she doesn't get much evasion as a Lint does, so you have to kind of invest more on her. You need to get a more equipment to make it work as good as Lint, and just Lint is way better. Oh shit! Ah, what happened? Ah, no, don't do this to me. There we go. Hopefully he remembers. There we go. So I say Hussar is 6 B rank. Not bad, but just Lint is better. So 6 for full link. Lint you need to get 6 for full link and 1 for no link. Keep forgetting that. Alright, Wraithy. She has SS, but she does enough damage. It never enough. She does electric damage, a roll attack. The problem is her damage only increased by number of electric units, damage unit in the team, and you can only have a maximum 5. So that buff is capped at a certain level, and it's just not cut it. If you can't put it more, yeah, it's useful, but that means you're increasing the cost of the team. So why would you do that? So she is only a B rank, even though he has an SS rank, and that's all there is. Alright, Impact is the next one, and she is trash. Unfortunately, she has she has S rank up. The problem is she have to be used with the Brownie teams or Mari's team. It just anything with the Brownie teams kind of goes useless in terms of that way, and then she only targets 1 unit each, so it's not that great to use her in terms of that. So Wraithy for 6 for full link, and Impact for 6 for full link as well. Alright, finally going to a defender. So Sleipnir is A rank. There is no unit that can do evasion tank better than Sleipnir. No unit. She's the only one that highest evasion cap. She's reachable, and with a certain item her evasion cannot be removed, so it makes it really good evasion. The problem is that some unit has like 999 accuracy, and that will definitely hit Sleipnir. I think the cap she can reach is like 790-ish with a addition of buff by herself. I think 700 or something like that, I forgot. Anyway, yeah, she's the A tier flying unit evasion, and then she only protects the flying unit, but that's good enough. She does some support attack between the Harpyia, Lint, and who else was it? Blackhound, so on, but the damage itself by giving her is just low that it doesn't matter. Alright, next one is Azazel. I would like to give her A rank, but she's just okay. I have to give her A rank. She is kind of iffy to use her by herself, right? She provides a lot of shield to the allies surrounding her. You know, she doesn't receive real damage. She gives a lot of buff, resistance surrounding her, but she just can't tank that much, right? She only protects units that's below 50, and that's kind of too late. If your team is already below 50% HP, that is already too late. So she's she's just borderline between A and B, but there's no unit that does something similar to the Azazel other than Albatross. So I have to give her A. And the Saraqael. Oh, Saraqael. I would like to give her trash rank right now. Yeah, I have to. She stacks lots of stuff. The problem is you have to stack it. She is acting like attacker while defending it, while you have to stack a lot of. You have to get hit a lot of hit. In the game of Last Origin, if you get hit a lot, that's not good. No matter how tanky your unit is, you don't want to get hit. So, in that way, she's kind of trash. If she does more damage, or she have some kind of counter, does like lots of damage to the enemy, yeah, maybe she's just useful that way. But she doesn't. She just increased her damage based on how many times you get hit, and by the time she got hit, your attacker should have got rid of all the enemy. So she's kind of trash tier, unfortunately. I would like to put her in the B tier, just can't. Alright, next one. Iron Annie. Trash. Why? Because she protects only a back row, and she's an evasion tank, and there is not reason to use her. Why can't I move that? So there's a better option than using an Iron Annie, so just use Griffon. There's no reason to use her. Blackhound covers more than the Iron Annie, so why would I use her? So she's a trash. She has kind of unique buff, but just doesn't need it. Forgot to mention Azazel 6 for full link. You can get more if you want a no link one. 6 for the Saraqael, but she's a trash tier. The Sleipnir about 7. 1 for no link, 1 for 6 link. Iron Annie 6 and 1 doesn't matter. Undine is sort of Iron Annie, but she tried to be an attacker, and her unique weapon is really at the verge of attacking units. So if you're making a very burst team in a front row, she is excellent for that, and then she does decent damage by herself. So you kind of build her as an attacker, not as a defender. That makes her really vulnerable. So I'm going to make her B tier. You can't do it. The flying units are not that tanky in terms of how many they can take. You can't make her both attacker and evasion. It just kind of doesn't work. So it's iffy. It's not great. So I'm gonna take a B tier, and you can 6 for full link. Blackhound A tier. She's a pool version of the Sleipnir, but she have more generous protection. She can protect any support and flying, and that's all you need for a tank. So a great unit, right? So just get a attacker. Like, you have one defender, that's probably all you need. You don't need to protect another defender because they're either evade or tank. So she's great. You need to get 7 for 6 for full link, 1 for no link. Alright, moving on to the next one. SnowFeather. Trash. She is unique that she does wetness, but only a 1 unit, which is crap. I think Even Frost does a better job of wet. You know, she does a cross wetness, I think. Yeah. So why would I use, you know, her when I can use a Frost? And she doesn't. She has a counterattack, evasion, sort of speak. But why would I use her? Just use a Blackhound. You know, use a someone else that's better, right? So kind of meh-ish. 6 for full link, if you care. All right. Moving on to the A tier, Pinto. Trash. She even have SS rank, but she only kind of weirdly work in terms of her protection range is very small, only protects 3, right? And then she can roll and column, probably column protect. But the problem is it's kind of hard to trigger, and she trying to be a flying supporter that has teams with the Mongoose, but only used for the Mongoose team, you know, which Mongoose team is none of them is a flying unit. It's kind of weird that she is a flying unit in that team, so kind of hard to use. You know, the problem with all the flying team is that there are always a better unit that you can use. So she's a trash. Full link, 6 for full link. Frost, I have to give her a B tier. She's not a great tank, but she does give AoE wetness, which is useful for any water ice damage, which is meta right now. So she is decent. Also, she can be used any electric damage unit, which she is belong to the what was her name? She's belong to the Sidus. So Sidus team. So she can be used as well. So she's excellent. Only downside is that she's a flying and not much tankiness in herself. Maybe it will change on the she go to SS rank, but for now she's a B tier, and 6 for full link. Next one is, where is she? Lancermia. Oh, I would love to give her to the A rank, but the problem is she is unique that she has a protection for both water and fire resistant. Problem is she doesn't tank that well, nor that she protects the ally that well. She's, you know, great for dealing fire damage, I guess. Just like you know, RedHood, but that's about it. You know, trying to attack and a tank at the same time doesn't work that well in this game. So she's only a B tier because she's unique that she's both resistance and a fire and water. So that's useful in that way. But you need to SS rank it, so it's kind of, you know, iffy. 6 for full link. Now going to B rank. SandGirl. Trash. The problem is there are better unit that does it, and she belongs to Bahala. She actually belongs to Bahala. That is the problem. If she kind of belongs to May team, it kind of works, but she belongs to Bahala, and she is trying to be tanky flying unit, but that doesn't work. Usually flying unit doesn't have enough defense, so kind of meh, trash. So 6 for full link. The next one is, I believe, the Jinia. Oh boy, trash. Like, she's trying to get buff in the she only protects the May team. That's one thing, and she doesn't do anything. She doesn't buff ally. She doesn't do great damage. Why would I use her? I can just use a Blackhound or Sylphid. You know, the better ones. No reason to use her. She's not unique. She doesn't buff to the main team, so kind of trash. And you need to have a main to trigger her protection, so no. B tier 6 for Link. Alright, pulling back to A rank. SS rank support. So Rhea is the first one, A tier. There is currently no unit that does AoE water the wetness status. Only the Rhea is the only one. And she buffs the unit surrounding her. She does AoE both active 1, active 2. Decent damage. The only problem is that she's a bit squishy because of being a flying unit. Otherwise, she is definitely excellent attacker version of the support. So, and goes synergy with the current meta with the ice damage. 7 for Rhea, 6 for full link, and 1 for no link. Neodim is B tier. She is therefore like a tank. She's supposed to buff the surrounding unit with a multiple different type of resistance, but that's where she ends. She also removes buffs, but you know she needs to stack some bunch of them, so it's not that useful. So I have to say she's a B rank. She's a very unique compared to the other units, but not a trash, but not definitely A, so definitely B. 6 for full link. Next one is Ella, A rank. The thing it is, she is the only unit that gives the biggest elemental resist debuff to the enemies. She has the highest value. She's flying. She buffs units surrounding her. Everything is decent about her stats, and then she is kind of, you know, have some damage reduction when she get attacked, so it's pretty decent for any elemental use damage unit. So you have to use her kind of. So she's an A rank, 7, 6 for full link, 1 for no link. Makina, I would have so debate between where she should be belong to, but ultimately she belongs to A in the fact that she buffs hell out of all the flying units surrounding it. Like she buffs so much on the flying unit that she just belongs to A. She doesn't do much damage, but she does enough buffs to the allies to be very useful to flying unit. And this is the combination that people use. Is basically you got 3 support, 1 attacker, and a 1 tank, you know, presumably like Penguin or Blackhound or Azazel or someone else, Albatros, to just tank 1 or 2 turns, and then you can kill them in a 1 shot. Basically, that's the meta right now, and it bypasses the defense. It does huge damage, and it's unfortunate they can only be used. She can be only used for the flying, but she does so much buff, and I have to give her that A. 7, 6 for full link, and 1 for no link. Alright, next one, TalonFeather. B rank. Not that great. She is only useful when she get used with con team. Then she does she's so good to use it. Otherwise, she's just it's okay. She's a decent buff, but she only useful with the con, and that's why she's just not trash. She's just made it to be because of the con team buff, so she's useful in that way. 6, 7, 6 for full link, 1 for no link. Or you can just go 6 for full link. Tethys. This is first problem with Tethys. Trash. Problem with Tethys is that she doesn't give a buff a lot, but only to a specific setup. That is kind of iffy. And then she is used as a attacker. That just doesn't work. She only buffs like she's only useful in the Siren team, like Horizon team, which belongs to ID, but ID already buffs shit out of everyone. Why would I need more buffs? So it's kind of iffy. She's useful if you have her, but you know, you can just use other buff unit, like but strict buff, just use them. Freaking Machina. Why'd I use her? So yeah, just kind of ignores her. Trash 6 for full link. Oh boy. Oh boy, Express. It is not almost trash, but she does good. Ah, no, she's a trash. I can't put her in there. She does AoE buff, but the problem is that has to be triggered, and there are units that doesn't even require trigger to trigger it. So she's kind of meh. Why would I use her? If there's a Mei, I can just use her to do exactly the same what she did without triggering anything. So, meh. Not that great. Useful maybe. If you need to use her, why would you just use a Mei? 6 for full link. Kirke. I really like Kirke. I really wish I can use her more effectively. Yay. Die. Okay, she does more than Express does, so I gotta put her in the B rank. And she does more than TalonFeather. She definitely needs a B rank. First of all, she does the fire damage-ish in the first turn, but that doesn't matter. But the second turn, you can make the enemy use not to skill. That's pretty unique on her as well. She buffs the allies pretty well. The problem is she removed the accuracy buff onto the allies, and that is kind of the bad side of her. But other than that, she's good buffs, good to use. Just that accuracy debuff is kind of meh. 6 for full link. So Angel is the next one. I have to give her trash. She's not just useful. It just not useful. She increased the range, but I don't need increased range on my attackers. Right? They're already fully range capable and it does more damage. Like, why do I need to use active to give that? And then she buffs the QA's team, and there's only one unit that is attacker on the QA's, which is Veronica, and she's not that great, so it's kind of iffy. She have more protection on herself, but it's just not useful. So she's hard to use. Keep changing the allies and her range, so it's really hard to use. So trash. 6 for full link. Alright, Daphne is B rank. Useful. She does get decent buffs, but it's just not there yet. Like her buff range is pretty cross, and she needs to be in the middle, and that's really hard to set up for the flying unit. Right? There are a lot of units that competes for the middle, like Mei, Machina, you know, not a lot, but you know, Sylphid. You know, there are a lot of units compete for the middle, and it just doesn't do well that setup. But she does a lot of buff. She does the corrosive. Only one of the unit that does it, I think, and it's B, solid B. 6 for full link. Daika used to be B rank. It used to be A rank in the beginning, but now she's a trash. There is absolutely no reason to use a Daika. there are better flying unit that can evasion attack, counter attack, which is Lint, or you know, Lindwurm, or you know, her. They can do better. Her buffs are not that high, so it's kind of meh-ish now, and doesn't really need to use her. So she's a trash, and a 6 for full link. Laven. Trash. You only really use her very specific setup. Other than that, you don't use her. Just doesn't use her. Like, there's no reason to use her other than very specific case, and that's really hard to use. So that's kind of meh-ish. That's why I'm giving her to trash. If she get a like S rank rank up, maybe she'll be useful. But until then, meh. 6 for fulling. I almost forgot the Hussar. Hard to remember her name. I have to give her almost, yeah, trash. She's same problem with the Angel. Doesn't buff well in the AoE. Buff herself to be a little bit tanky, but there are just better unit that buffs her. Mainly Machina. And you know, Daphne can do better than her, definitely. Or you know, Circuit. So why would I use her? Only very specific case if I need to do a very specific thing. Otherwise, it's just meh. You don't use her that specifically. 6 for fulling, 6 for fulling. Alright, the last but not the least, Aqua, is solid. Not a trash. For a B rank unit that does the debuff removal and then does the good buffs on there, she is definitely useful. However, she need to active 1. That's not bad. And it's kind of iffy. So I have to give a B trash. If Hearns were oh my god, why did I keep doing that? Ah, come on. If Hernsberg is in there, then she need to be in there. She's good. She's a borderline good to B rank. It's just that she needs more buff. So when the future she gets the S rank or SS rank, or she maybe incorporate into the Lise, you know, Rhea kind of team. Yeah, she might be useful. Then I'll say she's going up the rank. For now, she doesn't have one. And the 6 for full rank. Alright, Shippo. So we done the flying team, and there's no AWP. The problem with the AWPness on the flying unit is that they are lacking something always. Something. They're not perfect. You know, like ID is just way too perfect for the her skill, whereas these are very strong in terms of like the potential openness is probably Titania, you know, A.Lise, maybe Rhea. The problem is they lack that they only works with the synergy with the other units, doesn't work well with by themselves. So unfortunately there's no unit, but you know, this is good. And the next one's gonna be a heavy unit, and I'll try to upload this with all the chapters for which unit is, and then I'll try to upload it. All right, see you sheeples.